All right, the power of the art of our time. If you need something fun to do this month, the Utah Museum of Contemporary Art is unveiling a new exhibit.
That's right. We're here with Jared Steffensen, the curator of the museum, to talk about their open reception and annual gala. Can you tell me the new exhibit opening later this month? What's going on?
Yeah.
What's the update?
Absolutely. Yeah, so our main exhibit that opens on June 27th is called Something from Everything.
Okay.
It's an exhibition that looks at artists that are really focused on materials, experimentation, iteration, play, and trying to help you to see familiar materials in a new way.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And as curator, where do you get these pieces coming in from? All over the place?
Yeah, all over the place. We have an artist coming in from Mexico City to make work. We've got artists from California, Vermont, Pennsylvania. I'm trying to think of all the other places right now. Texas. So it's a nationwide exhibition that's centered here.
That's really cool.
We'll talk about your gala coming up in just a second, but
Yeah.
I want to ask you, for those who have never been to the museum, talk about what they can expect. Draw them in if you can.
Right. So if you've never been to the museum, we're at 20 Southwest Temple, right downtown, next to Abravanel Hall. The exhibitions are meant to be inviting but engaging and sometimes challenging. So, but we really do like to make the shows a place where people can come in and ask questions of the work, of the museum, of themselves, and like to think of them as a way to generate conversation.
You got a big gala coming up.
Yes.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah, this Saturday, June 14th, we have an exhibition. Or sorry, our gala the theme is centered around Andy Warhol's The Factory, which was a warehouse that he owned and ran and operated in New York from the 60s to the 80s, and really was again sort of about experimentation. Maybe a little debauchery, which will not be happening in the same way.
I was going to say, is this the 2.0, the factory?
Yeah, we're not going that far.
Tickets are
with it.
sold out, I guess.
Tickets are sold out.
If they're not, they are now.
Yes, definitely. So, I think we always put on a good party. I think people really enjoy it, so it'll be a good time.
Excellent.
What other activities are you doing there? You got a silent auction, you said?
Yeah, silent auction. There's art that is available for auction, for purchase. Dinner, dancing,
Nice.
band,
It's a
so
fun night.
a big night.
All proceeds, of course, going to support.
Yeah,
museum.
going back to UMOCA, and then back to artists in the community.
You know, when people are headed out to museums, like let's say they travel to different cities, I have some friends who love the more traditional, the historic art, but then I have friends who love that contemporary stuff. That's what they want to go see.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that, sort of that clash between the two?
Yeah. I think, what's interesting is I think people should like what they like,
exactly.
to be totally honest with you. So, what contemporary art does, though, is it looks at the issues of our time and tries to break them down and examine them and use a visual language to help people sort of work their way through what that means. And honestly, that's not too dissimilar to things that were happening in more historic art. If you look at Goya and the way he was looking at political and sort of governmental things at the time, the work represented that. So it's just a new version of that, but looks different. And I think sometimes that's where people maybe stumble. But if they are willing to come in and understand that an artist typically uses a visual language to express themselves and not just words, that the artists are really trying to work through things in the same way that the people coming to look at the work are.
Yeah. Historic art at one time was contemporary
Yeah,
art.
absolutely.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And what's old is new sometimes.
Yes,
you bring it all back
exactly.
around.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, the Museum of Contemporary Art, it has been around for how long? How many years?
We were actually started in 1931. Our original location was the Art Barn, which is up by the University of Utah, which is now called Finch Lane Gallery.
Okay.
So we started there, moved in the 70s to our current location. So we've been there for almost 50 years.
Wow.
We
Good for you.
love our location. We love being downtown. We love the community that we get to bring in, being across from the LDS church temple, also sort of gateway and
Abravanel Hall,
Abravanel Hall, the
yeah.
Salt Palace. We're at a really interesting crossroads.
Great place. It's definitely a part of that downtown landscape.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the gala's been going on how many years? You do this as annual?
Annual, yeah. I think one of the originals was called the Beaux Arts Ball, and that goes back into the 30s.
It sounds like it's going to be a party, and obviously for a great cause and,
Yeah.
and something you're passionate about.
Absolutely, yeah.
How often do you change out exhibits? How often can people expect new things at the museum?
Yeah, so it varies depending on which gallery it is in the museum. So typically our main gallery shows run for about 6 months, and then the others cycle out every 3 to 4 months. So we have 5 galleries that we're constantly changing and bringing in new work. But for those 6 months, everything that we're showing is based on the same theme as the main gallery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. So it all kind of, it's cohesive. All kind
Yeah,
of goes together.
yeah, and hopefully that helps people understand each show as they walk through the museum.
Okay. Where can people go for more information about the museum?
Yeah, so our website is utahmoca.org. Sign up for the newsletter. We've got social media, all the normal, typical channels that people use.
Looking
these
for a
days.
unique date night, even if you've never gone, go check it out.
Absolutely, please do.
Awesome. Jared,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming in this morning. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for your time.
Good luck with the gala.
Yeah, thank you.